What I'm about to get into next and what I'm going to show you is really going to expose the truth about Baby Gronk and his father. And yet again, I hate to do this, but it needs to be done. Whatever. And I wasn't even going to show you guys this up until I saw something else. You are playing a very, and I mean a very dangerous game. And here's the thing. You don't think it's a dangerous game, but you'll come to find out it is. You might want to buckle up for this one because we got a lot to talk about, I got a lot to show you guys, and I also have receipts to show you guys. I can't even believe I'm making this video, but some stuff has happened in the past couple of days, and it's gotten to the point where I feel like I need to address it and give my 2 cents. I'm sure by now every single one of you have at least ran across this kid on some social media platform, this quote-unquote young phenom, Baby Gronk. Now, I'm not saying you gotta know too much about him, and I don't really either. I'll get to that in just a second, but you probably at least have seen his face or seen some of these major media outlet companies reposting videos of him and yada yada yada, all that nice stuff. It's nothing more than them just hyping up a young kid. Well, unfortunately, there's a very sad story behind all of this, and this video is at perfect timing because right when I decided to make this video, there's also a ton of other crap coming out about Baby Gronk's dad, and he's getting exposed. There's a ton of stuff going on. If you know, you know. We're going to touch on that a little bit as well, but this is more so of me just giving you the harsh truth and me showing you the receipts that I have received from Baby Gronk. When I sit up here and tell you guys I hate this for this young kid, that doesn't even do it justice. I feel bad for him. I genuinely feel so bad for him. And to Baby Gronk's dad, I know you're sitting here watching this because you've messaged me over 100 times. You obviously know who I am. I don't want this to come off in a bad way. I would really like you to take my 2 cents because I've been in this social media game for a very long time. I've seen over my many years a lot of young players getting hyped up by their father, getting hyped up by these social media companies, and it turns out to ruin their life. Why does it ruin their life? Because nobody takes them seriously. What happens is they become a meme. I will say this though, who am I to tell you how to raise your kid? Nobody. I wouldn't want somebody to tell me how to raise my kid. You see what I'm saying? I just need to address some things that got to be talked about. So if you want to take this a bad way, you can do whatever you want. But I will say this before I go any farther and before I forget, I'm also going to give you a lot of credit and respect for actually being in your son's life. There's a lot of parents out here who don't push their kids to succeed and don't give them that support at a young age that every kid needs. So I do respect you a ton. I just think you're going the wrong way about all of this. I don't know this to be the case, but I would like to assume that I think you're doing this for good reasons. You want your son to prosper in life. But the problem with this is you are playing a very, and I mean a very dangerous game. And here's the thing. You don't think it's a dangerous game, but you'll come to find out it is. We're going to talk all about it in today's video. And also, I want to say this again, and I want to clarify, I hate to make videos like this because I want to make positive and upbeat videos, but sometimes you got to do the dirty work as well. It is what it is. All right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let me give you some context to our situation. Baby Gronk is essentially a young football player who's training really hard, and his father, I believe, runs all of his social media accounts. He is trying to proclaim him as the next big thing. I think that is the shortest summary I can give you on all of this. As a matter of fact, I don't even know. How many followers do they have on Instagram? Let's pull it up real quick. Okay, over 300,000. Hey, Baby Gronk currently follows me. That's pretty cool. And yet again, I want to clarify to whoever's running these social media accounts and hyping this kid up, which allegedly it's his father, I'm not dissing you or your son. There's a lot of people doing that right now, and we'll get into that in just a second. I'm more so offering you some advice. Now, do I think Mr. Baby Gronk here, we'll just call his dad Mr. Baby Gronk, do I think he's going to take my advice? Or I know you're watching this. Or do I think you are going to take my advice? No. Because what has happened is, and is currently happening, and it goes back to this, you're playing a dangerous game. They're seeing all this growth on social media, and it's great. So I understand the mindset behind it. It's like, well, dang, yeah, we're getting a lot of hate, but we're still growing the brand. And what has happened is over these many years is people have somehow convinced regular people out here that even bad publicity is good publicity. When in reality, it's not, and we'll get to that in just a second. And oh yeah, by the way, I almost forgot to mention this. If my comment section is turned off on this video, I didn't do that. YouTube sometimes does that when you talk about younger people, so it is what it is. I hope they don't, but if it happens, can't do nothing about it. Let's get back on track here. And I really want to make a long story short with this. I think the first time I saw anything about him was probably, it had to be like a year ago maybe, or maybe it was only like 8 months ago. Something around that time frame. And it was nothing too crazy. It was just a video saying, hey, this kid's Baby Gronk, and it was him catching a pass. And at first, it was a very likable social media page because I was like, dang, the kid kind of looks like, I guess you could say, Gronk, so I understand the Baby Gronk analogy. And plus, he's good at football. I want to make that clear right now. This young kid is really good at football. I also think he's really talented, but people aren't going to give him credit for that, and we'll get to that in just a second as well. Or a matter of fact, we can get to it right now, because currently he is bigger than all the kids. He's about as fast as all the kids, and there's not a kid at his age that is arguably better than him. I mean, there's probably a couple here and there, but for the most part, he can compete with anybody at his age. My first thoughts when I saw a video on him several months ago, or maybe it was even a year ago, I was like, hey, this kid, he's pretty good. And I remember seeing all the comments. A lot of people were like, yeah, this kid might be the next Baby Gronk. Who knows? Keep working hard. But what has happened is, and we're starting to see this slowly with every single video and every single post, is that they continue to praise him and build him up and all that nice stuff. For example, the first time you see a post of him saying that, oh, I'm the next Baby Gronk, I'm going to the NFL, it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of cute, you know, wishing the kid the best of luck. But like I said, slowly, especially in the past couple of months, people continue to see these posts after post after post where they're hyping him up or he's hyping himself up. It's like, all right, kind of getting annoying. There's levels to it. And then it gets to the point, and that's really where we're at now in this story, where everybody's like, all right, I'm just rooting against this kid. It's cringy and it's just getting old. So now in this lore, if you want to call it, people are in the hating stage where it doesn't matter what he does, they're going to hate on him. I'm going to prove my point. Let's just go to his most recent Instagram post. Literally the first couple of comments. Like this if Baby Gronk is overrated. Kid's father a clown. Nobody cares. Do you pay people to do videos on you? You can't make this up. That was the first 4 to 5 comments I saw. Do you really want me to sit up here and read off hundreds, and I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of comments similar to that? They're all the same thing. So the point is with all of this, up until this point right now as to where I'm speaking, and then we can move on, I need you to understand this. People don't like them. And the unfortunate part about this is it has nothing to do with the kid whatsoever. I'm not going to show you all the video clips. I'm not going to show you any, matter of fact, because I'm sure many of you have already seen them, and they're cringy. And I don't think his football highlights and when he's playing football is cringy. I enjoy seeing that. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to see young kids go out there and play football and thrive. The ones I find cringy is when he's like, oh, I'm the #1 player. He was risen up Livy, something about that. And he's like, oh, I'm going to the NFL and blah, 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 blah. Those are the ones that I think for everybody else, I think y'all would agree with me. It sets it over the top. And most recently on the Instagram, as you see right here, there's a couple pictures of him visiting Missouri, Louisville, and Kentucky. And for those of y'all who don't know this, these aren't official visits. His dad, father figure, he paid for these visits. And from Baby Gronk's perspective, this is awesome. I mean, when I was a kid at that age, yeah, that was one of my biggest dreams, to go on official visits. Growing up, I remember making my 2K player in 2K12 and getting on the cover of magazines. Do some of y'all remember that in 2K12? But anyways, the point is, I remember making my player and dreaming of getting my name called out. I just vividly remember being on the cover of magazines in 2K12, and I was like, man, that'd be awesome if that could happen one day. But no, this kid, he's literally doing all that stuff that I used to do and we used to do in video games. So to him, he probably thinks it's cool, and it is cool. But here's where the problems start to arise yet again. You're going to notice there's a lot of problems in this story, just how this comment says right here. Nothing like stealing your kid's childhood for personal gain. With all that being said, that is the complete backstory on Baby Gronk, and that is honestly the shortest summary anyone could give you. There's so many more things I could show you, but it is a father trying to make his kid famous. And here's the good part about all of this. You probably think I've shown you a lot already, but we haven't even gotten into it yet. What I'm about to get into next, and what I'm going to show you, is really going to expose the truth about Baby Gronk and his father. And yet again, I hate to do this, but it needs to be done. Let me also make this clear. I do not believe in exposing text messages or private DMs with somebody you're talking to unless it's okay with that person. That's just something I've always been against, because I think those are supposed to be private between two people. But in this case and situation, why I'm going to override my own rule is because I never even conversated with Mr. Baby Gronk. I didn't even talk to him. This was a one-way conversation, so I feel like it's okay. I'm only going to show you a few messages because he has recently deleted all the other 97 that he sent me. but it doesn't matter. They all say the same thing in just regurgitated format. For the past 6 to 8 months, Baby Gronk's father has sent me hundreds of messages on Instagram. And like I said, I can't even show you all of them because he's recently deleted some, but I probably wouldn't show you them anyway because they all say the same thing. He's just saying, hey Matt, would love for you to make a video on us, and writing a bunch of bull crap in a paragraph. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't have a problem with that. I've had 5-star athletes reach out to me and say, yo Matt, can I get a video? Like, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, he's just asking for a video to be made on his son, which is okay. But my thing with all of this is, like I said, he has sent me hundreds of messages. Here's the recent 3 I'll show you. What up, bro? I don't respond. Matt, would you do a YouTube video on Baby Gronk? We are doing crazy numbers right now. Okay, I think I'm going to say on all platforms. This right here, what you see, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. You're trying to get my attention, cool, whatever. And I wasn't even going to show you guys this up until I saw something else. So apparently and allegedly, he does this to every social media account. And just like this says right here, I bet everyone in sports media has a DM like this. And a bunch of people have quote tweeted it and shown proof and evidence just like myself. I want to talk about this for just a second. Now, I myself understand marketing, but there is a major difference from marketing and just straight up non-organic growth. I'll give you a quick example. This is marketing. Hey guys, since you're here, you might as well hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more content. Hope you guys enjoy. That is marketing because I am marketing myself to you guys. That is organic. What's not organic is if I reached out to every single one of you individually and said, hey guys, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Can you please follow me or subscribe to me? That's not organic. When you are begging people, when you are begging social media companies to repost every single, he's probably reached out to hundreds of thousands of people. I wouldn't be shocked about it. But when you are begging people to repost this and you are trying to get famous non-organically, it's not good. You're cheating the system, and you can cheat it for a little bit, but like I said, dangerous game because it's going to catch up to you. And we're not done yet. I still got to show y'all some other things, but I want to give this to you guys because I remember covering this a lot when I was starting my YouTube channel. This reminds me a ton of the Julian Newman situation. I remember it just like it was yesterday. Julian Newman, he was coming up in the basketball scene, and his dad was doing essentially the same thing. Jamie Newman, which is Julian's dad, was reaching out to all these companies, getting him on TV shows. I think he got him on Ellen, was getting reposted by all these hoop mixtape companies left and right. And Julian Newman, at the time, it was about 5th or 6th grade when all this was happening, he was one of the best basketball players in the country. But what happened? They kept reposting his stuff so much, claiming he was going to be the next big thing, people turned on him. Why did they turn on him? It wasn't even because of Julian. It was because of his dad. It just got corny. And then what happened? The biggest nightmare ever. Julian Newman, he peaked in like 7th grade. He didn't grow anymore. So as he continued to get older, his competition got better and he was stagnant. And here's the craziest part about this. Julian Newman, even as a junior and senior, was averaging like 25 to 30 points per game, and he was a really good basketball player. Nobody will ever give him the credit and respect he deserves, but I mean that 100%. But the problem with this is when you are proclaiming your kid as a prodigy at a very young age, and you are proclaiming them to be the next big thing, if they don't make it to the league, they're going to be a disappointment and get mocked the rest of their life. You can go to Julian Newman's page. He's getting mocked every single day on every single post, and it will continue to be that way. I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen, but like I just shared with you, I've seen this story before. The problem with this, and here'd be my advice to Baby Gronk's father, I would tone it down just a little bit. Because here's the harsh truth and the harsh reality about all of this. Your son, aka Baby Gronk, is an outstanding football player. I think he is an outstanding football player. But you're setting expectations for him that he is going to be the top dog. He is going to be one of the best players in the country. So therefore, if he doesn't get to the level of like a Brock Bowers at Georgia or even Rob Gronkowski himself, people are going to mock him the rest of his life. You're setting the bar so high and you've hyped him up so much already, people have no choice but to turn on him. I can already smell it as to when we're speaking in 4 years from now, the quote-unquote what happened to Baby Gronk videos on YouTube. It's going to happen, and I can already tell you the summary of those videos. Nothing happened to Baby Gronk. His competition just outgrew him and got better. I could go on and on about that. Next up, let me show you this. So Baby Gronk's father has stated, we put 5 or 6 days a week of training. I think he meant to say we put in, but you get the point. He diets, he eats clean foods, salmon and brown rice. He's in a routine. He's a real athlete. He's not a normal kid. The reason I'm laughing about this is because what is this? I understand the training 5 to 6 days a week. That's cool, the diets and whatnot, but you're making him eat salmon and brown rice all the time? Like, what? Let him be a kid. I hope this ain't true because, dude, when we were all that age, what did we want? I can't speak for you, but for me, I wanted my dinosaur chicken nuggets. No kid wants salmon and brown rice. Come on, man. Give me my dino chicken nuggets. I want my dino nuggets, Pop-Tarts, fruit roll-ups, snacks. I don't want salmon and brown rice. Oh, brother, you probably think I've shared with you a lot of information already, and I have, but there is so much to this lore, and that's what I'm going to call it, this lore and story. I could sit up here and explain to you how this could turn out for the next 10 minutes, but I'm going to give you a long story short. If you haven't seen or heard of the Julian Newman story and situation, just go look up that or find it out for yourself. That's all it is. Yeah, this publicity gets good at this current moment in time, but it's not always going to be good. To Baby Gronk and Mr. Baby Gronk, I'll leave you with this. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Hope it works out. I genuinely mean that because I want to see everybody be successful. I want to see everybody be great. There's enough success in this world to go around. But I also have core beliefs that there are certain ways to do things. This isn't organic. I would tone it down a little bit. I get it. You're probably trying to live your dreams through your kids. You want the best for them. You want them to strive for greatness. You're pushing them to greatness, but you got to tone it down. That'd be my greatest advice I could give you. And I'll give you a quick example and then we'll end off the video here. Growing up, I played travel baseball. And if you ever played travel baseball, you know how that goes. I not only played travel baseball, but I also played rec ball. So in total, I was probably playing, over 100 games a year. And I'm talking about from the ages of like 7 to 12, whenever you get in middle school. And yeah, it was fun. I made great memories, but there was also a time where I remember feeling like, dang, this is just so much. I'm not going to say I didn't have time to be a kid because that's what I wanted to do, but at the same time, I didn't have time to be a kid. Sports consumed my life so much by the time I got into high school, I really got tired of baseball. I didn't like it anymore. I got burnt out. I really did. That's all there is to it. And I think a lot of people watching this, you can relate. Like I said, you're playing a dangerous game. Let me know your thoughts down below. But roll a